Gamer Feed Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Sorry, I actually have to turn the mute off so you can hear us talking to you this entire time.
That'd be great.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another fantastical episode of Gamer Feed Radio. I'm your host, Nick Delicave, joined by the Super Trio, otherwise known as Brad Wallace and Kyle Pope. What's going on, guys?
Oh, what's going on?
A lot of nothing. It's been a while since the old the three horsemen of the apocalypse have been together in one session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. This will be a good one.
Too.
Yeah, we got lots to talk about. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I said good show in store. I was hyping the show as if someone's going to turn it off. They're going to be like, where's this crap?
Yeah.
This one.
Well,
turn it off. It gets better.
Yeah. Well, in case anybody missed us the last couple weeks, this last time it was my fault because of work travel.
That was my fault too.
Yeah, I mean it's
we were all kind of busy.
Yeah, it's been really crazy this time of year, and holidays and everything keep throwing everything off, and people hanging out and all that. So we're back for yet another episode. Today's show is going to be all about first-person shooters. And
yeah, it is.
We've got plenty to talk about with all of that. But before we get to the good stuff, I would be remiss if I didn't just kick it off with a little bit of all that stuff from back in Memory Card Lane. The trees are alive is back, kids. I'm sure that Kyle and Brad can't hear any of the music that's going on, but it sounds terrific to me.
I can
bet
hear
it does.
And it brought a single tear to my eye. just one.
Just a little trickle.
Just one tear.
It's been a long time since we've had Memory Card Lane, and first I had to get this cool new system that we got in here, which has helped a ton. But
excuse me,
just getting the sound clips and everything from ye old past has been tricky. So for Memory Card Lane today, rather than just pick one game, because we haven't done it in forever, we kind of just have random stuffs that we're going to throw out there. So, Kyle and Brad, do y'alls have anything you want to remember from the way back?
Well, since BlizzCon was this past week, I was thinking we could do some of Blizzard's more celebrate releases from way back when. You know, I mean, obviously there's World of Warcraft, and that's huge, but I never played it. I know, there's millions of people out there just like, oh, you're missing out. And fellow contributors to the show, Tony and Cole, are wounded greatly by your lack of participation.
Mm-hmm. But anyway.
Doesn't mean that I haven't played my fair share of Blizzard games over the years.
Go on.
One in particular, StarCraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which I think is a defining game of strategy-based. What's the proper term for it?
Real-time strategy.
Real-time strategy. Building armies, and I'll never forget. This is gonna sound. Well, this just shows how bad I am. But I remember getting it when I was 10, 12 years old, and my buddy from grade school also had it, and I was playing it by myself because, it was still in the early days of the internet, but you could still play online. And I'm a little older. I might have been more 13 or 14, but dialing up the old modem and getting online, and I was always playing the story mode because that's just how weird I am. Because a game that's predominantly played online, and I go for the story mode, of course. But I never knew you could play it online because that's how oblivious I was. to the whole concept of online gaming at the time. And so my buddy, his name was Thomas, was like, "Yeah, I got StarCraft. You can play online, dude." He's like, "Oh, really? That's awesome." And so I was like, "Let's get a link party going and let's go play online." I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, I was pretty confident in my abilities. I got stomped in 5 minutes, like hardcore. I was like, "Oh no, this is different." Like what? Like I remember I was the humans because that's what I was just used to playing as, and I didn't know anything about like the tiers and the strategies of doing it. And I'm just like slowly taking my time, building my base, be like, I'm gonna get this all figured out, and then just swarm in. And then in the middle of building my base, what was the alien race? The Zerg
Protoss or whatever.
Yeah.
Protoss
No,
and Zerg.
not
Zerg was the actual alien.
Yeah, the Zerg. And then all of a sudden, like a Zerg swarm just comes in and completely destroys my base in like 20
Zerg
seconds.
Rush,
Just,
yeah.
I was just
All
like,
our base belong to us.
I was just like, oh, this is bad. This is
You want
bad.
to see a fun little Easter egg? If you go to google.com and search Zerg Rush, you get a little. It's really funny. I won't spoil it, but it's very cute.
Okay, I will look it up when we're done here today.
Yeah.
But oh my god, it was like a really sobering experience because you're just like you think you're so good. You think you're so good at the game, and then you get these players, and it's like, oh wow, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
I think I didn't pick up the game again for like 3 weeks after that because I was just just like embarrassed. And my buddy Thomas, he was playing too, and he was holding his own. He was the robot alien race people.
Those are the Protoss.
Yeah, that's the Protoss.
Yeah. And he was holding his own, but since I got eliminated in 2 seconds, it was just like, oh, okay, well, he's screwed too. Like, so yeah, I suck at StarCraft.
Yeah.
But,
I had the N64 version, which is like so bad. It's like
there was an N64 version.
It's like
that doesn't even sound good.
It's so bad. Like it was actually fun at the time, but if you go back and look at it now, it just looks so butt ugly. Just like gross N64 blockiness and chunkiness, like brown.
And just like you don't have the
you're using the C button. So bad.
Like,
but I mean, it's kind of fun.
I mean,
my big.
I mean, there are some FPS. I mean, real-time strategy games that work on console, but like they're played completely differently.
Like the best example, like Pikmin 3, especially on the gamepad, where you can like hop around the map with the touchscreen. Like that's probably
a real-time strategy game.
Yeah, that's like one of maybe 3 games that ever was good on the gamepad that I actually used the gamepad for, like as intended.
Which I mean, well, that just proves how Nintendo is actually good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like I've been on. Right.
I really think that Pikmin 4 is an NX launch game. You heard it here first.
Oh my god, I'm so tired of trying to predict what Nintendo's going to do.
I know.
I don't care.
They've been so quiet that it's going to be this tidal wave.
Well, that's because they're like, hemorrhaging billions of yen every second.
Well, now they got Amiibos, and now they're making money again, right?
No, wasn't there some report, Noobs Feed, wasn't there just some report about their earnings are end of year, and they're back in the red again, and they're hemorrhaging money left and right.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And new CEO guy was like, it's okay, because Stuffs is coming out. And you're like, really?
Now you didn't have to
I also heard that there's going to be like a super cheap bundle for the Wii U Black Friday.
For holiday?
Yeah, it's like $200. You get Smash Bros. And Splatoon, I think.
Yeah, bundled in, which is actually a sweet deal.
Yeah.
Sweet deal.
Sign me the hell up.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely, I mean, that's the kind of thing that you want to put out there to have a really strong holiday season, because you ain't got no games.
I mean, you would have Star Fox if you were competent.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Just saying.
But I mean, I would buy that in a second, and I think I might. Like,
hey, I mean, if you got some Amazon Primes, not to be confused with the Optimus version, I mean, you can get yourself some cheap Nintendos.
Hells yeah.
Yep.
Hails to the yeahs.
Or you can just wait and the NX comes out in 12 months. Or 11.
Right.
But yeah.
Or you could just wait another 6 months, right? Yeah.
And no Nintendo, it's probably backwards compatible because they live in the Stone Age.
Oh yeah.
So
I would say at least like the digital stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if it'll take the disc.
Come on, guys, you're giving way too much credit.
I know,
Virtual Console on Wii U was abysmal.
Yeah, it was, but you could carry them over to Wii U at least. That was cool.
Woo. Woo. And stuff. But anyway, so enough of bashing on Nintendo. Memory Card Lane and all things.
How do we get to that?
I have no idea.
We
But
talked about
StarCraft is
64,
fun.
And
We heard Kyle's version, Brad. What's your version of thine StarCraft?
I will say I didn't play StarCraft as much. I only really played split screen, which was even better. Split screen N64 StarCraft, which is a trip, let me tell you.
That sounds terrible.
It's like you got like it was. But my real Blizzard game, and I'm gonna sound like a gaming hipster here. But
Oh my God, heaven forbid.
God, heaven forbid. No, for God, what am I saying? I almost said Fallout. No. Warcraft 3 is like such a good game. That was like the only.
It's an amazing game.
I ever played like hardcore, and
I was good at Warcraft 3.
Yeah,
I learned from my StarCraft experience and I made sure I was actually good at Warcraft 3.
It's like it's like you get these heroes as kind of the gimmick in Warcraft that you're kind of playing as a character. So it's like more approachable than something like StarCraft where it's like straight military buildy stuff.
Yeah.
Like it has this cool fantasy world that this is before World of Warcraft exploded. But
and the story was actually really good.
It was really good. And these cinematics were like insane. They had this great GI, like it was like it's so good.
Like the whole thing with Artemis.
Yeah,
right.
I can't remember a lot, but
I think it was Artemis, and he was like a paladin knight, like super noble, and he goes down this whole like downward spiral into insanity, and eventually becomes the Lich King. And it's like not the Lich King, but like a servant of the Lich King.
Yeah.
And then he becomes one of the undead races, and it's just like it gets so crazy. And then like all these people that support him, like because he was young and he had like all these mentors and people that cared for him, and then he just like completely turns around and becomes evil and backstabs all of them. It's so crazy.
I feel like this is some kind of spoiler in case you're me and you're hearing this for the first time. So
I just watched this movie called Star Wars. I don't know.
I'm not spoiling it for any Blizzard fans. Okay, they all know this stuff. They know more about it than I do.
Not to mention the game is like 15 years old.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Yeah,
maybe it's not.
I mean, you can't really spoil anything anymore because everything can be spoiled with a click of a button now.
Yeah.
So
not to mention
it's like
playing it. It's really a strategy game. Like the Warcraft story is good, but you really play it because it's a strategy game. You're not playing it to get story necessarily.
But you know me, I'm very story heavy in games.
And that is one of the points about Warcraft is that it is almost like an RPG. It's almost like a strategy RPG. You know, you're not like leveling up or anything, but like it still feels like a fantasy world. I guess you are, but it's not like
there is a leveling system.
But it's not exactly like an RPG.
Not online, but in the actual game itself.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm remembering like how much I played that game. Like I played it.
Yeah, I played the crap ton out of it.
It's like the only PC game from my childhood. That and like Roller Coaster Tycoon before that were like the two games, and they're like 4 years apart from my childhood.
Sims, Lego
Island. Okay, now we can go down this whole thing. I used to play Morrowind on PC a lot. That was, God, that's like one of the great games ever too. So many.
Yeah.
Roots. Oh, cringe.
So how about this? Because this sounds like a great idea. Let's save some of these awesome ideas for the next memory card lane, which will be sometime next week on next week's show.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god!
We should do a whole show of like childhood games, not like You know, like, wouldn't that be a good show? Like our favorite games from childhood, not like the
I don't know,
best.
'cause I
I'm trying to
feel like
think
we
if
do
I
that every week.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm trying to think if I really want to listen to you and Kyle Muse
No,
waxed.
but we can talk about your gaming like path or something. Where like
Again, like I feel like
I
we
think
covered
it's
that because
a little bit.
no,
But it's
a
more
lot of it.
saying like
Because we
my
always pick
favorite games.
shows. We always pick shows based on our experience. So
But no, I'm saying it would be like a timeline, more
biased
than
there,
a top
yeah.
10. So like if we do our top 10 like we did the other week, it's like here's a game from 2010, here's a game from 1995, here's a game from 1985, here's a
Yeah,
game
because
from
everything you're saying kind of sounds like work.
Yeah, but it's more like what we're just doing now. We're just like throwing out random things and we just can go on it.
It's all
think it's
good.
fun.
We'll save it for the next time. And if anybody has any thoughts about this suggestion, or you have a video game that we haven't talked about, you out there, listener land, hit us up at GamerFeed Radio on Twitter or on Facebook.
Can I say
and
something real quick?
Comment and stuffs. Yes, sir.
I want to thank everybody for finding the Sonic article as hilarious as I did.
Yeah.
Because that got a lot of hits. So
It did. It was
I appreciate-
it was super great, actually. So we have some awesome fans out there. That's all I'm saying.
Nice.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, well,
And we all know how I feel about Sonic. We don't need to go there.
yeah, about that. So, speaking of Sonic, which is a terrible segue into our feature presentation today, let's talk all about first-person shooter games and, how much fun they are or aren't, depending on your favorite franchise. So while the music is gently fading down, we have a bunch of different things out there that we could talk about in FPS. So the agenda in no particular order, because the order really doesn't matter. Let's face it, is what kind of FPS games do we like? Do we like to play? Do we have a favorite out there that we're like, that's my jam?
I mean,
It could be recent or ever.
We covered this recently in my top 5, me and Brad's top 5, and I'm a Halo guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult for me to not. In my transition over to the PlayStation 4, that's the one thing that's like really getting at me is the fact that I cannot play Halo anymore, unless I go someplace nice house who has it. So Halo to me is just definitive for me. For FPS, and I love it because some of you may remember a long time ago when I went on a tangent about Call of Duty and its realism.
Nice.
I like Halo because it's purely fantasy.
It's fake.
Yeah.
It's fake. It doesn't really bring any real world things into it, But that aside, I also just think the games are just so well done. Every single one. I mean, I have a favorite. Mine's 2.
Yeah, most people,
But
I was going to say, really choose their jam.
But all of them. I mean, I could pick up any one of them right now and just be like, yes, this is amazing. Like, everything about this is great. Even Combat Evolved, the first one, just blew my mind when I was a kid. I got on Christmas, and I started playing immediately. I played through the story mode in like 10 seconds flat. I beat it a day. And I remember the next day, I went back and played through the entire thing again. That's how much I enjoyed it. And, I eventually beat it on Legendary. And, I'm not saying that I'm a really good Halo player, but I'm saying that I'm a really good Halo player. Like, I played the crap out of it. I'd always play it with friends and online. I destroyed. It was such a satisfying feeling. And, all the late nights, especially when I was in college and I was living on my own and, had the freedom to scream at my television without bothering anybody. And just so many long sometimes angry, but for the most part, victorious nights. Playing from like 11 o'clock at night to like 3 to 4 in the morning online. 6-pack of beer next to me. Like, some of the best times. Really, literally.
True that.
Like,
true that.
Brad.
All about it.
Halo 3 is up there. I don't want to retread too much, like you said. We did talk about these, a couple episodes ago. Halo 3 is my favorite Halo, like by far. But like you said, the first 3 are like, pick any one of them and,
I
any
love
given
4
day.
just as much.
Yeah,
I really
haven't played 4. I don't count it in my head because it's not like Bungie, even though I'm sure it's really good. In fact, I know a lot of the people that made Metroid Prime, I think, like went on to work on that game, which is kind of a weird thing.
And a lot of people from 437 Industries original Halos as well.
Yeah, it's like half
Because
the people went to that.
Like,
half the people went and stayed at Bungie and do Destiny or something like that. But yeah.
Because
yeah. But the Halo 3 is my favorite by far. And by all accounts, it sounds like Halo 5 is kind of disappointing, if it makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically, I'm hearing it, the campaign mode is just awful. Just awful.
Yeah. One of my big Xbox
that
buddies,
upsets me greatly, actually.
Well, and people were mad about the multiplayer, right? Because they got rid of the split screen in this particular version, so it's like a double whammy for fans, and they're like, well, I'm a big Halo person, so I like the franchise, I'm going to buy the game, and then they're all ranting about it on Reddit, so.
Right.
Well, the weird thing
with the whole split screen thing.
What?
The whole split screen thing is like, Halo's like the one game, the one FPS, where like that is actually a disappointing factor because of everything that led up to that point. Because all the Halo players remember hooking up 3 different TVs in their basement together and having LAN parties where you just have like all your friends just going at Halo. And I think even though that's not as prevalent, I guess, as it is now, I feel like fans still want that option to just have a few friends over and play the game.
How dare you? You sound like Nintendo.
I know. I know, right?
Well, what gets me is that like Halo 3 had all this stuff 8 years ago. Like Halo 3, you can get 4 people split screen online, and you can't do that on the next generation console. Like that's
you could do it on 4 too.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. But like, still, this was before 4 even. But yeah, it's so frustrating that
every Halo had that option, and now it's gone.
It's really a strange decision.
It is
from Microsoft.
It's insane, actually.
And if you're looking for a really great way to alienate your fans, but you know what? I mean, Bungie is no saint either. Bethesda isn't either. I mean, we'll get to all these other franchises in just a bit. I mean, Activision, of course, is notorious, but everybody gets something taken away every once in a while. And
even like Call of Duty, you can still do 2 people split screen online on PS4 and Xbox One, I think.
Yeah,
like it might not be 4 players, but you can at least do 2.
Right.
Like I'm like 90% sure.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing that kills me about Halo 4, and I haven't played Halo 5.
You mean? Oh, never mind.
The thing that kills me is that Halos 1 through 3, which I kind of count as like, the Old Testament, if you will. Yeah, like just like the good stuff. Like not that the other stuff is bad, because I like the other stuff. This is like, the canon. This is like the real deal. Not that anything else Halo is not good.
The tone of Dominion.
It's the 4, 5, 6 to the 1, 2, 3.
God.
Yeah, it's the original trilogy. It's the perfect way to put it. This is, New Hope, Empire, and Jedi. This is like the good, like the real good. The thing that kills me about less 4, but more 5 from what I've seen, is that they kind of like forgot what Halo is from what I've picked up. Like they tried to make it into this smaller scale, faster paced game. But the thing I always loved about Halo, campaign and multiplayer, was that it was usually like these bigger open environments that were slower combat a little bit. You could jump really high. There was vehicles. It was like very spread out. like classic Blood Gulch, for example. That level is massive. Like, and all the levels I've seen in the new Halo are like half that size or a quarter that size. It's
absolutely.
silly to me. Yeah, like that's the thing that bugs me too. Is not just that they're taking away these local stuff, but it seems like they're trying to compete with Call of Duty and make these small little arena fights. When Halo was good at not doing that. Halo was good at having these massive vistas and vehicles and stuff.
And the fact that I think all these things that you're just right now made Halo a competitor to Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was like refreshingly different. Like I remember the year Halo 3 came out was 2007. That was the year the first Modern Warfare came out, which is
that's when Call of Duty
the first real Call of Duty.
Cloud 9.
Yeah. So, like, and those two games were so different. But now, this year, if you look at Black Ops 3 versus Halo 5, they look, like, indistinguishable. They look like the same game. It's so silly
first of all,
that they've,
listen,
converged.
Save yourself an enormous amount of time and just call it Blops.
Blops?
Yep, just Blops 3.
I'm a big fan of Blops.
Yeah. I mean, see it COD kind of sounds like some
COD
weird
Blops.
It's some kind of weird, like Maine fish dinner or something. And
Bro, you COD Blops?
Yeah, so Blops is just cooler because it sounds like some old retro Nickelodeon sound effect or something.
Blops. I like that.
I need you to record that in your phone and send me the audio file. So every once in a while we can just sprinkle that in.
Maybe. We'll see. That's hilarious.
Dumb. So dumb. Anyway.
But yeah, that's my grievances with the new Halo. It's strayed. I wish for the best with everything. I'm never root against the game. Maybe with Halo 6 they make it this.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Halo
actually, you're
6
kind of names we can't say on the air about some games.
I know.
You like open your mouth and it's like Satan's
delicious.
voice.
Yeah.
Evil.
But anyways, that's my thing with Halo. I love Halo 3. That's so close to being in my top 10 games ever. Like that game is the best of the best in my opinion.
I mean,
like you said, they could all be my favorite. I could pick Halo 2. I could pick Halo 1, and I haven't played 4 or 5 enough or Reach or ODST enough to really. Which I will say that Reach sucks. Like that game is just disappointing.
What game?
Reach, Halo Reach.
Oh yeah,
I was not a fan.
Oh well, then hold on. Shout out though, ODST.
ODST was the shit. Oh my god,
ODST was amazing.
Yeah. Dude, I remember that was my freshman year of college, and that was the year second year of college, and we would
sophomore year.
Yeah, I can work for it. Sophomore year, second year.
No, my sophomore year. It was my sophomore year. It was your freshman year.
Yeah,
No.
We used to play that.
Me and my roommate
Yeah.
played the living hell out of it. I mean, and this was back, when I wasn't such a good kid. And,
apparently much hasn't changed if you listen to the pre-show. Oh, wait.
Don't talk about the pre-show. The pre-show's the pre-show. The show's the show.
But, me and my roommate skipped many classes doing cool activity and then playing Halo for 5 hours.
By the way, kids, this show does not condone or approve of skipping of classes, listening to this while you're trying to go to sleep, or any other excuse to not go to the money that either you are borrowing for the rest of your life or your parents are paying for. So, just a public service announcement, goes to classes.
Oh, that was great, though. No, but that game is the real deal. Especially firefight mode. That was awesome.
Oh,
That's
God.
the most addicting thing ever.
God, it was so good.
I'm not crazy into the horde style things. It kind of got played out. Every game started to have
super played out.
But then, that was the really, really good one. Gears of War 2 is the first one, but ODST nailed it. I love that.
Oh, so good.
And then Bungie decided to make an entire game out of that mechanic called Destiny, where it's nothing but rushes of enemies over and over and over and over and over and over.
But it's a good. The FPS mechanic is
good.
excellent.
Yeah, trust me, I like Destiny. I've never not liked Destiny. I just think it's a little.
It's a monetary. It's a money dump.
You think
But
we'll get
that's
Destiny
Activision,
2?
huh?
Think we'll get Destiny 2 next E3?
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh, totally. I bet it comes out next calendar year.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. And I can't wait because then Brad's going to be like, "Oh, I think I'm going to get it because I said I would." And
Dude, I
but
know
I
I'm
haven't
gonna-
but I missed like 5,000 expansions in between, so he's going to have no idea what's going on cuz
I really hope whatever they do with Destiny, 2, whatever the official sequel is, that they make it so that someone like me that played vanilla Destiny, that never got the DLC, and there has to be a lot of me out there, not a ton. But
Thank God
you'd
there's
imagine-
only just one.
I feel like I really do feel like that, Brad. I feel like you are
I am
the single-minded minority in this situation.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say if I had to guess, I would say maybe 1/3 of Destiny players at most has like all the DLC of the people that bought any version of the base game. I think it's
Yeah, and I say 99.9% at least have one expansion. Brad,
They need to
That's
give them
you.
away for free on like PlayStation Plus. That would get me.
Hey,
That would
maybe
get-
after Destiny 2 comes out, they'll give you like the worst one for free.
Probably they would be dumb like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, because there's
Here's
money
House
to be
of
made
Wolves.
there, and they will collect it from you.
Yeah, it's just like what they did this month. Shout out to PlayStation Plus for being not terribly terrible this month. They gave you Walking Dead Season 2 for free. So
Woo!
they make you want to buy Walking Dead Season 1. Like, it's so cheap. And they give you Mass Effect 2 for free. So you get to buy 1 and 3. Like, it's kind of cool, but it kind of, yeah. It's pretty
Oh, man.
legit.
Yeah, I mean
I got
that's how they do it, man. They're all in the business, and it's funny because I was listening to some other podcasts because I like to keep up with the Joneses, and they were all lamenting about, God, why do we always have to buy the stupid DLC? And we tell people not to pre-order, but if you don't pre-order, it's kind of like games don't sell right, and publishers are stupid, and
Yeah, it's a
it's
vicious
like
cycle.
it really
Oh,
is.
It's an abusive relationship, really.
Yes,
You know
I
what?
like
And
that.
that's-
Need to go into bad Brad Baby. What?
Brad Baby Beefcake. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Hey, baby. So I won't do it. I gotta save it for like a real. I'm holding back. If you guys want to hear Brad Baby B 1.0, listen to Gamer Feed Radio episode. Insert
Number here.
So don't
I will
remember.
not be I won't be splicing that in. So that just
I
means
think that was last year's Grampies. I think that was like the New Year's show. I think we were
Uh,
talking about Destiny, and I was talking about how I finally quit Destiny, and it was
you were
around like,
violent in that episode. Incidentally,
I was mad that one. Someone lit a fuse on my ass.
What?
I was, like, fired up.
Hey, people are doing that by the thousands on YouTube, so it's not recommended either, kids. Brad's kidding. He's being facetious. Don't really do
Yeah.
it.
That's how I don't think that's true.
I'm telling you. It's for reals. Um,
Like, oh, we have a perfectly timed. But anyways, yeah, Destiny exists, and
yeah.
Halo, Destiny. That's what we were talking about. I
We
think.
talked about Halo. We talked about Destiny.
yeah, I guess that would be yours, right, Nick?
Yeah, but
Or-
I mean, we talk about it a lot, and the
Talk
only thing
about
I'll
it
say
so-
is just
Just now a little. too
yeah. I
much,
mean,
and
look, they just had the big Trials of Osiris weekend 2.0 version, which is like the hardcore of the hardcore first-person shooter competitive deathmatch type thing, and it gets a lot of buzz with the most hardcore of players because you really have to be good. Like you have to have good gear, and you have to be good.
Well, this is another. Can I? Sorry. I don't
No,
wanna-
go ahead.
This like pisses me off so much with Destiny. We're just talking about like in Halo how they took out split screen and all this stuff, which is I'm rightfully upset about. I think it's a crappy thing for. I don't even have an Xbox One, but for the Xbox One people out there, they kind of shafting them. And these are like your loyal people that have been buying your crap for 15 years while you're trying to screw them over. But anyways, Destiny is another one that just like you scratch your head. There's no private matches in Destiny. You can't just hop in a multiplayer match with like 6 of your buddies and just like all shoot each other, free for all team deathmatch. Like it has to be in these public playlists that are like that. They are so blind to this, especially with like esports. Everybody's talking about esports and competitive gaming. Like they're just totally absent on that. Like they could make a real private custom match tournament thing And a lot of people seem to want that, but they're not giving it to them. But here you go. You can buy your freaking Michael Jackson dance for $10.
Hey,
like,
you know
so
what?
Dumb. Like that.
Keep
It's so
the
wrong.
Thriller was worth every real dollar.
Did you
I
buy
had.
it? Did you?
Of course I did. It was amazing.
How much was it? Was it $7?
I think it was like $6 or $7.
$7 to dance like Michael Jackson and Destiny. Okay, I don't judge. I mean,
hey, you know what?
I bought Primal Carnage, the first.
Not only that, but you go and buy amiibos from shady dealers who are naked in trench coats in dark alleys. So, I mean, when we're talking about where we like to spend our money, mine is the safe version. Yours is the bend me over version.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're still here. Anyway, so enough about the Destiny. Although I will add a brief plug because I got some brief. Hey, you're connecting things that I am not saying. Although that's funny. In hindsight.
Connecting things, yeah. No, I won't.
Got some developer buds of mine that developed a really great FPS LFG website called Raid Organizer. RaidOrganizer.com. Everybody should check it out. They're doing a promotion right now where you can get the first year free for the first 1,000 people that sign up and use the promo code they got on their website. Right now it's just Destiny that's in the LFG, but they're adding other games soon. So definitely check it out. The interface is pretty sweet, and the guys over there are awesome. So support a good cause. And hey, it's faux free for now, so hurry up and check it out.
Yeah.
RaidOrganizer.com. Okay, great. So continuing on with things that we like to play, let's skip that and jump to the other.
I can tune back in now.
You do what? Do what?
You just
you got real loud on me, Kyle. What? I just heard blugga blugga blugga.
I'm sorry. I can tune in now.
Oh, wow.
Too
Don't be a hater. Anyway,
I'm sorry. That's not as much as I care about, I don't know, baseball or something like that. I don't know.
Well, that's what happens every time you talk about Kingdom Hearts or Brad talks about Metal Gear for me. So,
it's true. We all have our.
We're just like, there we go. Oh, yeah, it's a rant. So the evolution of first-person shooters, right? Let's talk about this just a little bit. I don't have any fun statistics or Wikipedia it or anything like that, but you guys have kind of touched on it a little bit with we had split screen and now some have it and some don't have it. Now that everything's multiplayer online and there's private rooms and not private rooms, everybody's screwing it up. What do we think about that? I mean, if we look back at the history of first-person shooters, is there kind of like that perfect balance that we miss if it's not there, or based on everything that's going on, is there, if we could pick and choose, what would be like the ideal current state?
Well, we all know where it started, and that was GoldenEye and Perfect Dark.
Oh yeah, GoldenEye.
I mean, you could go real far back. The real beginning was like Wolfenstein and Doom, which I do want to say shout out to Doom.
That's true.
Because Doom is like
not a PC gamer, so
this is true. On consoles especially, GoldenEye is like Genesis. Yeah. Not Sega Genesis. I mean,
and this is also back in Rare's prime.
It makes me sad.
Where every single game they came out with was a freaking classic.
So good.
GoldenEye got so much things right.
Yeah.
In the beginning where they became pretty much staples in the FPS genre. I mean, again, split screen. We've talked enough about that, but like the whole idea of vantage points and what you want to use, how you want to use it, what gives you the player. I mean, unless you're you play the Golden Gun mode or something like that. Everyone kind of has their sort of niche. I feel like in FPSs, especially as the genre evolved. Are you a sniper? Are you like the guns blazing kind of player? Are you hide in the corner and just kind of like leave people off your radar, and then kind of jump out of them when they come? Everything kind of started with GoldenEye. And then Perfect Dark came out, and that was equally impressive. But again, it was kind of like a carbon copy of GoldenEye,
Yeah, it's
really.
like a remake of GoldenEye. Not really, but
It was slightly prettier and had a female protagonist. So that was kind of cool.
Joanna Dark.
And then, we got into like the PlayStation 2 era. Stuff that comes to mind, it's like Medal of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously Call of Duty. And then, the Xbox came out. We had Halo. We already talked about Halo. And I feel like with those games, the formula stayed the same.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just better controls, prettier graphics, and stuff like that. Like, for a long time, I feel like the FPS genre didn't really evolve much mechanically.
Yeah, until really like Call of Duty 4, and then every single game became Call of Duty 4. Like, the PS2 era was like the same game.
Okay, have you guys both played Per?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, because I haven't.
Oh man, it was so.
What changed?
The big thing was loadouts and this progression XP leveling system.
Okay.
And not to mention, aiming down the sights really didn't exist in first-person shooters until Call of Duty. Now, literally every single game, including Halo, has aimed down the sights, which I hate. Like, I literally hate ADS.
Halo's done that before.
Yeah, for like snipers and pistols, but not like assault rifles. I don't know. Maybe I think they took it out of Halo 5. I think they're gonna have it, and then they took it out. But yeah, that like literally every single shooter now almost has ADS, as they call it, aim down sights.
Okay.
But
it's like actual gun shooter. It's called. It's just a sight. It's called a sight.
I mean, in the game, ADS is a gameplay mechanic, like aim down sights. But
yeah.
Sorry,
I actually own a gun, so
yeah,
I know these things.
True that. I will say there's a little bit of a gap. Well, if we're talking about console gaming, then yeah, that's pretty much the story. It's like GoldenEye, and then every game is the same.
Obviously the PC, we gotta mention Counter-Strike and Half-Life.
Yeah, I was gonna say Counter-Strike and Quake and Unreal Tournament are two that I
didn't even think about Quake.
Like I used to play Unreal Tournament a lot also. I act like I'm not a PC gamer, and then I'm looking back on my childhood and I'm like, oh yeah, I got like all these random PC games from my friend, but they were less than legal most of the time, but that's okay. I just got like so many games.
I think the statute of limitations has expired. You're fine.
Yeah, I may have had pirated copies of Quake 2 or 3, or it was Quake 3, I think.
And half the universe.
Yeah.
Unreal
Tournament 2004 was a real good one. I like that game a lot. But those are that's a different style of competitive shooter. They're called like arena shooters, and I said arena shooter earlier in reference to Halo and Call of Duty, but this is like real arena, and this is like jetpacks jumping around, very vertical levels.
Well, I mean, and all these games that came out 10, 15 years ago are still like have a super competitive market.
Oh, that's the best part. Yeah, like people still to this day will play Counter-Strike 1 and Counter-Strike Source as much as they play Counter-Strike Global Offense, which came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Those games are just so mechanically perfect. That's what's called in like competitive gaming, which I don't follow too closely. But they're called like pixel perfect games, which means that like literally exactly what you want to do is what will happen. Like there's no errors in those games, which is why they're so, skill based and competitive.
And that's also the power of the PC because
exactly.
They're
online.
designed. Yeah. They're designed to like be that way. It's just like second nature kind of thing. A really good show. It's a little childish, but. I forget what it was called. Gaming High School. It was a YouTube show.
Video Game High School, VGHS.
Video Game High School. Yes, and that was actually super educational to me for like computer FPSs because they made so many references to computer FPSs and it all made sense. It was all true. It was like the guys who wrote the show are obviously gamers because everything was super like true to the brand, I think.
You mean they played on stereotypes that everyone knows well? I'm shocked to hear you say that, Kyle.
I know, but for a person who wasn't into like PC shooters, everything about what they were doing was correct. It was the research was done right, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I had somewhere to go with this, and now I forgot it.
There's at least one per show,
competitive
Kyle.
gaming,
It's good.
FPS. I don't know.
But I mean, like it. I guess like it was about the equipment. That's what impressed me, I guess, because all the equipment was real equipment, and actually what actual like competitive FPSs would use, and the F gamers were the protagonists of the show, of course. And it was really hilarious too because there'd be other like gamers, like the kart gamers and shit, and they would hate on the FPSers because like they're the master race.
Let's not say that too loud because there's too many people out there that are like, "That's right, baby. I'm FPS. You all suck."
It's true.
I mean, I really don't care for many FPSs.
Yeah.
So
I mean, honestly, that's my right. I mean, Kyle, you and I have talked about this before. I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, it wasn't really until Vanilla Destiny came out where I even considered playing something. Oh yeah, I never played any of that. I mean, I played GoldenEye and I hated it, and I played because I'm a very competitive person, and so. You know,
that's what I get. I get like so
yeah, and then I can't play it.
Yeah,
and then I can't play anymore. I'm like, because the easiest way, the path of least resistance is, well, there's two paths, right? Punch the guy out next to you or quit.
Yeah, that's what I learned when I played Hearthstone, like hardcore for so long. Like I wasn't good for my mental health. Same thing with Rocket League. Like I played that so much, I got so burnt out that like I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, like now, Brad, imagine what would happen if you were a card gamer in real life.
Oh
where you
my
actually have to put money
God!
into it.
You'd be like, "Hey, anybody seen Brad?
Like
nope,
me.
He's out at another tournament
me.
again this weekend."
Yeah, no, I'm never.
I'm about to sell off a collection.
Stop.
For about $500. I was
going to say, do it on eBay and bid it out, and you'll probably get like 5 times that much. Especially if you have good cards.
No. I mean, I do have good cards. I'm good at networking trades.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, I'm pretty
with the black market of Brad's secret amiibo dealers too. It sounds like y'all plugged in with each other. I got to stay away from you guys. The IRS tax audits.
There's a Facebook market for these cards.
That's silly. Silly.
It's not. It's great for quick cash. So
I mean, oh my God!
I desperately need.
Don't we all?
Anyway,
don't we all?
Word.
Not the point, though. Not to bring card gaming into an FPS conversation.
Everybody who was listening to this show, who wasn't annoyed by some of the static on the line, already checked out.
This is a good show so far. I don't want to do a mid-show review. We can't do a mid-show review. We got to keep going.
I think this show's amazing. It's so good, everybody. Oh, we've been on for almost 50 minutes. We spent 20 minutes talking about Memory Card Lane.
This is true. Can I got to give some brief shout-outs because I want to do speed round here.
Okay.
Brief shout-out to one of my top 5 games of all time, Left 4 Dead, is up there. Love that game. So addicting. Probably my all-time favorite FPS at the end of the day. Shout-out to, even though they're questionably, we were talking about this before the show, questionably not FPSs, but Half-Life and Half-Life 2. I wouldn't call them FPSs. They're more like adventure games, but those are awesome games.
Yeah, but that's like how Fallout isn't technically an FPS, you know?
Yeah, it's like even though you're in first person and you get guns, is it a shooter or is it a different thing? Like,
I mean,
Fallout's an RPG.
Yeah, I mean, that's if you look at the evolution, though, right? Because it is timely to the topic. I mean, that's kind of where shooters are going. It's like going more shooters / RPG / open world.
Is. It really is. And that's kind of why I don't keep up with it as much as I used to. Because shooters nowadays, like, they require so much work.
I was going to say, I'm kind of surprised, actually, to hear you say that, Kyle, because the RPG-ish elements that keep slipping their way in, but then you're right, because every single one of them is such a time commitment. And if you're a good publisher, you have character creator, and you spend 6 hours creating your perfect dude or chick, and then you go out there and you're like, I built this person, and now I have to care, and it's just too much. It's like, can't I just get a, rocket launcher and go shoot things, and who cares? Get points for it. Whatever. And trophies for as many people you can blow up with, one round.
And if you're going to put that much time and effort to a character in a game, FPS gamers are the mainstream right now. It's FPSs and sports games, which, God love them, because if it weren't for them, then gaming would still be like kind of like a nerd thing and not a normal thing.
Yeah, that's so true. If you think about it, it's like literally Madden and FIFA keeping video games from like totally being off the edge of,
this shooters thing. And shooters. I include shooters. No, I full-heartedly include shooters.
Yeah.
This is America,
especially
baby.
We love not even Call of Duty, because I feel like Call of Duty now skews younger, but like Battlefield especially. Like I remember when Battlefield 4 and the new Battlefield Hardline, like I knew like a lot of non-gamer people that was kind of on their radar, and it's kind of surprising. But yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for games like Madden and Call of Duty and stuff like that, video games would still be kind of like a nerd thing.
Totally, yeah.
You make it sound like it's not.
Maybe we should do a whole show on this topic. It's something I've thought about for the longest time.
What?
Oh my God.
I'll call it a closeted gamer. Like I almost don't tell people. Like I'm embarrassed or something. Do you guys run into that?
No.
No.
I do a little
very
bit.
comfortable with myself, Brad.
No, I'm not saying that.
This is why Brad has secret amiibo dealers in dark alleys. Oops.
Okay, no. Let me. If I'm just shooting it with some people and some coworkers, and the conversation's kind of going somewhere, I'm a huge movie nerd. Like I could talk about new releases and just kind of make some water cooler-ish non-small talk. But like to do the same with like video games, be like, yo, I got Yoshi's Woolly World the other day. Like I can't do that.
Well, that's because no one should say that out loud publicly.
Well, the game's so good though. Like I
Fine.
like it.
I mean, it's like I said, it's Little Big Planet on Nintendo. So I was over it before the stupid game even came out.
No, I just finished that game.
It's
Yoshi. It's a real,
it's the likeness of Little Big Planet.
Yeah, it has that yarn.
Only by, visual standards.
That was enough for me.
Yarn Kirby came out at the same time as Little Big Planet, so it's hard to say that they copied that.
Lies.
Not to mention it always had that
and
kind
also,
of.
And this is something that is actually my criticism of Nintendo.
I'm shocked.
How many times is Nintendo going to release Yoshi's Island over and over?
I know. There's a 3DS, a DS, a Wii,
even Wii World and Yoshi's Story. It's always the same freaking thing, and the same mechanics, the same freaking way to defeat enemies. The only difference is Yoshi's Island actually has some variety and some challenging bosses. Nowadays,
hold on. As the lone player on the podcast that has completed the game throughout, I will say that it is a very difficult game at parts. Like it's this charming little cute thing, but
what about
the bosses are like by far the hardest part. Like there's not even the final boss. Final boss is a little too easy, but like the world before the last world.
Is it Baby Bowser? Is Baby Bowser?
The final boss is Baby Bowser. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, as glorious as this topic is, and it is, I actually think that the suggestion of talking about, Brad's psychosis over video games could be really fun in a rubber room.
Not like I'm not embarrassed.
We should do a Brad episode. Let's do a Brad episode.
Let's
just
dissect
dive
Brad's
deep into,
brain in an episode. Yeah. No, let's not. Let's not.
I mean, we got to go all out. We got to bring everybody in. I mean,
My whole childhood, my family.
we got to get a hold. We got to get a hold of Rob and get him in on it. So we
I
can
do
just
have a weird. That's what I'm saying. Is that like if it weren't for Rob, even when I worked at, I won't say the name of the employer. Like I would have never just like started talking about video games with people. Like
See,
you know,
that's
it's like
that's really funny that you say that. So I have an employee of mine that he's a big gamer, and it was kind of weird how it came up. So he got hired on.
Yeah,
and,
see, it's like it got like in some weird way. It's never like
all I did was say, hey, he got hired on, and I was like, hey, so tell me a little bit about yourself, and what kinds of things you're interested in. And he said, I know you're gonna think this is totally the lamest thing ever. He's like, but I love me some video games, and I was like, you shut your mouth right now, or you're fired, because that's amazing. And lucky for you, you have a boss that totally understands what it's like to get up the next day after you've been up since till 2 or 3 in the morning the night before because you can't put the damn controller down. We're good, son. We are good. We're good.
Nice. Yeah, see, but it's like
it's not weird anymore, though.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're weird, Brad.
Like, no, I'm just saying the fact that it's a given that even though I don't really watch TV, but like you can talk about like a current show with someone and it's accepted. You can talk about a current movie and it's accepted. You can talk about current music, but like video games, it's this level removed. I think it's because it's like so male dominated too. Like even though there are these stats that say all these women and girls play games, I don't know. I don't quite see it in the real world.
I was going to say I would like to know who they are and where they live because they ain't here.
I know
they all work at Cock and Bull.
Well, they all. I think a lot of it in these surveys that say 50% of gamers are female.
God.
I think they go for like iPhone games. I think that's what that. Not like
I can't get my wife to peel herself away from this stupid mobile game called 1010. It's like Tetris, but you can like.
It's so good. I know that game.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Anyway,
but I don't think that 50% of female population is playing, Overwatch beta on PC right now. Like, if I had to guess, it's probably 99.9% playing Overwatch beta right now.
Well, okay, so you bring up an excellent segue, right? There are the other FPS ones. We've talked about the main ones: Halo, GoldenEye. We touched on Destiny. We talked about Call of Duty. We talked about.
We haven't touched on all of them.
Well, I know.
There's one more.
Yeah, we touched on Fallout a little bit. We touched on a bunch. Quake, Unreal, Doom, etc. So there's a bunch of other ones that came out, right? Like you had Gears of War, you had Resistance.
That's what I'm saying. Gears of War is...
That's not a first-person shooter. That's a third-person shooter.
Okay.
It plays like a first-person.
Right.
Yeah, it plays like an FPS, and it is a shooter in its core, but I don't know. It's a slightly different thing.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. But I was like,
especially for the online.
It's like the bastard child of the FPS. It really is.
It's literally Resident Evil meets Halo. Like if you just put those two together, that's what you get. Like it's just a perfect combination of the two.
But great story.
Yeah, it is a very good game, especially the first one. Yeah.
Like all three of them, amazing. Like I don't care for the mechanics as much, but the story, it's amazing. Yeah. It is amazing, and it'll make you cry. It'll make you get pumped up. It'll make you feel feelings. It's ridiculous how good the story of Gears of War is. And feeling
feelings is really important.
It'll make you feel feelings.
I love that. I do.
I like it.
But I mean, so there's a bunch of other stuff, right, that kind of fits in there, and we do have time limits on this show, but I would say that if anybody has a particular game out there that, we forgot, when we post the show, this includes you guys, right? Just put it down there in the comments and gin up some chat. But before we break for the total end, right, your unbiased opinion of what we would call the best shooter. Now, let me preface this by saying the generally accepted best shooter, right? Don't be like, I think it's, some game that no one's ever heard of, because that's ridiculous. I'm not interested in totally your opinion, other than your opinion of all the other opinions that are out there What's unarguably or inarguably the best shooter, if there is one?
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
a
if
tough
you
one. I
talk,
like.
if you talk, like, obviously I'm a Halo guy. Talk from just influence and overall just acceptance, I guess. It's got to be Call of Duty.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
It has. I'm just saying from a commercial standpoint, it has to be Call of Duty.
It kills me to almost agree, but mostly if you're talking about like the modern state of like shooters, then yeah, no question. Call of Duty is like the shooter. It's almost like nothing else.
Call of Duty killed 2 franchises.
It killed everything. Like it just steamrolled every other shooter in the world. Like even Battlefield can't keep up. Halo.
It killed Battlefield and Medal of Honor.
Yeah, Medal of Honor especially. They just came and ate their lunch. Like it was just a flat out. It was like a bullying epidemic. Like they just like crushed.
It was
like,
the 7th grade football team and little old me.
It was the Cincinnati Bengals versus Nagel Middle School. And
Wow.
I just located us to a part of the world.
Wow.
I don't think it's any shock where we're at.
Just bleep the name of the
Oh, no. I'm not bleeping anything. I'm not bleeping anything. If they come knocking on your door, that
baby.
will teach you.
We have as many wins as the rest of our division combined. I just saw that today. Made me laugh.
Nice. So you guys are both saying Call of Duty.
Love it.
No, I'm gonna disagree if only to give us different answers. But I gotta say, and this is so hokey and hipster of me, but I gotta say Doom. Like Doom is.
I was totally that was totally my vote. Actually,
What? Really?
Yeah, because the reason no, and I'll let you speak on it. I'm just confirming with you because it really did. I mean, even though it was PC.
It's on Super Nintendo, I should add.
Yeah, it was just great. I mean, it's a great game. It started it all.
Yeah, it's like Wolfenstein really is the first person shooter. That game is awful. Like you go back and play that game and it sucks. Like it is bad.
It sucks.
It is awful. But
So
you go back and
bad.
Play Doom is like amazing. Like Doom you can still play. It's so fun. But
Scary.
it's like this Mars hell sci-fi thing that I think even Halo kind of took a little bit of inspiration from, like this darker.
Of course.
Yeah, like dark.
Oh my god, Halo took so much from Doom.
Look at the Doom box art and tell me that doesn't look exactly like a freaking 90s Master Chief. Like, dude, that is Master Chief. Like his helmet.
No, you're absolutely right. Doom.
Yeah.
Halo. I don't want to say it's a carbon copy, but
they definitely took a lot.
So many.
There's a lot of homage to the past.
Well, that's the thing about shooters of old compared to shooters of now. Like, you really don't see that many fantastical, over-the-top shooters anymore. They're all basically military games. Even Halo is a military game to an extent. Like, they're all these squad kind of, you have your cigar-chomping commander guy that tells you what
Gears
to
of
do.
War 2 is a military-based game.
Yeah, like, it's hard to think of any shooter that isn't like that. But Doom...
It's obvious. Like, how else could you possibly link... Like, why would all these people be carrying guns and going out to fight these battles if they weren't soldiers?
But I do like a little bit of in the older 90s style games, they were a little more like Die Hard, where it happens to be a guy that happens to get guns, and it's a little more like Doom's an exception, but I'm thinking of a game called Serious Sam, which is Serious Sam is the goofiest game ever. It's hilarious. Like, it's not really that good of a game, but it's just so funny.
Clearly aptly named.
Even Duke Nukem, like, that's another one that we could... That game is bad by today's standards, but it's worth a shout out for existing.
Can I argue against Doom a little bit, though?
Go for it.
You get 30 seconds. Go.
Recent entries, not good.
I know. I'm really hoping that this new one picks it up, but I agree. They dropped
It's the same reason why we don't really look at the new Halos as good.
Yeah,
because
They just kind of forgot what they were.
They just seem like departures from what made the game special. And I agree. I full-heartedly, even with 4, even though I love 4, I totally agree with you about 4. It was a departure. It became the run-of-the-mill FPS.
Yeah.
It was still good. It was still fun to play. But the online mode was just like, oh, there's loadouts, there's leveling systems. Oh, wow, I'm playing Call of Duty now.
Holy
shit.
Exactly.
It was still fun. I enjoyed it a lot, but the similarities were still there. I was just like, I can't ignore this.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Very good. Any
the
other
new Doom does look really, really good. Shout out the new Doom that comes out next spring.
Oh, it's good because Doom's a great.
If that game is what it looks like, then that's going to be the real deal.
Very good. Does anybody have any other topics or thoughts or anything else before we wrap? No. Excellent.
I'm gonna do a little plug real quick.
Okay, go quick.
I'm writing for Cincy Music now, so check me out.
Nice.
So check me out. I'll be releasing some articles in the coming weeks. So check me out.
Very, very good. Excellent, sir, and congrats.
Thank you.
To all of the rest of you, just keep in mind that you can check us out every week. We are here in theory and spirit. We try to keep you all up to date, but you can check us out on GamerFeedRadio.com. As I said before, on Facebook, on Twitter at GamerFeedRadio, and of course, you can check us out on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, on Overcast, on pretty much everything that's out there that you can download a podcast. We're there. So check us out. And until next time, gamers, peace.
Peace. Yep. That was a good one.
That